We're constantly hit with new diets, workout trends, quick fixes. It's a lot. But what if the real secret to a long, healthy life isn't about chasing the next big thing, but about getting the fundamentals right? In this explainer, we're going to build a blueprint for a kind of fitness that actually lasts a lifetime.
So let's start with a really big question. What does being fit really mean? Is it just the number you see on the scale? Or maybe how many miles you can run? For decades, the world of health has leaned on one single, kind of simple metric to answer that. But as you're about to see, it is way past time for a major upgrade. For a long, long time, the go-to metric has been the body mass index, BMI. It's a simple formula, just your weight and height. But it has this one critical, glaring flaw. It literally cannot tell the difference between a pound of muscle and a pound of fat. So a bodybuilder and someone who's totally sedentary could have the exact same BMI. A much better approach, like measuring body fat percentage, gets us way closer to what actually matters, what our bodies are really made of.
And hey, this isn't just some fringe fitness idea. In what was a landmark move in 2023, the American Medical Association itself officially recognized the significant limitations of BMI. Their advice now? To always use it alongside other, more accurate measures. This signals a huge shift in how the medical community is starting to think about health.
So, just how badly can BMI get it wrong? Well, get a load of this number, 71%. That is the percentage of female adolescent athletes who are misclassified as obese based on their BMI. We're talking about fit, incredibly healthy people whose high muscle mass completely broke the formula. It's pretty much the perfect example of why we need a better way to look at fitness.
Okay, so if BMI is a flawed tool for individuals, what's the alternative? Let's move to a much better framework, one that builds a way more complete picture. We can break down true physical fitness into 5 essential pillars.
Pillar number 1 is cardiovascular endurance. The easiest way to think about this is like it's your body's engine. It's all about how well your heart and lungs can deliver oxygen to your muscles, to keep you going, whether you're climbing a flight of stairs or running a marathon.
And building it is way more accessible than you might think. We're talking about simple, effective stuff like jogging, biking, swimming, or hey, even just dancing around your living room. The key is just sustained movement that gets that heart rate up.
All right, pillar number 2, muscular strength. Think of this as your peak power. It's the absolute maximum force you can generate in one single go, like lifting a really heavy box off the floor or doing a 1-rep max in the gym. And closely related, we have our third pillar, muscular endurance. Now, this isn't about that one massive effort. It's all about your muscles' ability to resist getting tired and just keep working over time. How many push-ups can you do? How long can you hold a plank? That right there, that's muscular endurance.
So let's just put them side by side to make it super clear. On one side, you've got pure strength, that one all-out burst of maximum force. On the other, you've got endurance, the ability to keep on pushing, rep after rep. Both are absolutely crucial, but you train them in very different ways.
Pillar 4 is flexibility. And this is something a lot of us tend to forget about. It's simply the ability of your muscles to lengthen and stretch. When you reach down to touch your toes, that's a classic measure of the passive flexibility in your hamstrings.
But here's a really important distinction. Flexibility is passive, while mobility is active. So flexibility might be having the ability to get into a deep squat position, but mobility is having the strength and control to actually stand back up out of it. For everyday life, you really need both.
And finally, our 5th pillar, body composition. This brings us right back to where we started. Instead of just looking at your total weight, this pillar looks at what that weight is made of, that ratio of fat mass to everything else, like muscle and bone. It is the perfect antidote to the limitations of BMI.
Because your body isn't just one single thing, right? It's this incredibly complex system of bone, muscle, fat, organs, fluids, the whole shebang. A single number on a scale just can't possibly capture all that complexity, but understanding your body composition really can.
So, we've got these 5 pillars, but why does mastering them matter so much? Because this isn't just about looking good for a few months, this is about how well you're going to live for the rest of your life. This is the longevity link.
Now prepare yourself for this number. Without consistent effort, the average person can lose 30 to 40% of their strength between the ages of 30 and 80. And that's not just about lifting less weight. That's a direct hit on your ability to do things like carry groceries,
play with your grandkids, and just live independently.
But here's the really good news. That decline is not inevitable. Not at all. Strength training isn't just for young athletes. It is the single most powerful tool we have to hang on to our independence and our vitality as we get older.
So, here's the crucial point. Just let this quote sink in for a moment. People generally do not end up in nursing homes because they are sick, but because they are physically weak. Wow, that directly connects our physical strength to our ability to live on our own terms as we age.
The research is crystal clear on this. Disuse is the #1 driver of this decline. It's not just aging itself, but inactivity that makes us weaker. The takeaway is as simple as it is powerful. You've got to use it or you will lose it.
So how do we put all this together? I want you to think of your fitness not as a chore, but as an investment portfolio. A diversified investment in the most important asset you'll ever have, your future self.
So how do you build this portfolio? It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, just take a look at your routine. What pillars are you hitting, and which ones are you maybe neglecting? Second, diversify. Intentionally add in some activities for those missing parts. And third, track your growth not by the scale, but by what you can actually do. One more rep, 1 second longer in a stretch, that's the progress that really matters.
And that brings us to our final question. It's really time to stop thinking about fitness in terms of weeks or months. Take a hard look at your routine and ask yourself this: is this built for a short-term goal, or is it a sustainable investment for the rest of my life?